YNW Melly just did the one thing no rapper wants to do in court. He collapsed. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the same man who gave us Murder on My Mind just gave us a murder mystery meltdown, live in front of a stunned jury. And the reason? Oh, nothing major. Just his own so-called brother, YNW Bortlen, flipping on him like a cheap lawn chair at a family barbecue. Picture this, the courtroom dead silent. Prosecutors lining up receipts like it's Black Friday. And then Bortlen, calm as a preacher on Sunday morning, drops the bomb. Melly pulled the trigger. Boom, game over. Lights out. And before anybody could even gasp, Melly hit the floor like the weight of betrayal just crushed his lungs. But here's the real tea. Was this collapse a sign of guilt? A staged performance for sympathy? Or the ultimate realization that street loyalty doesn't exist when the state waives a plea deal? Because trust me, folks, the streets are already divided. Some are screaming, "He's finished," while others are whispering, "This is deeper than what they're telling us." So buckle up. Tonight, we peel back every layer of this courtroom circus, betrayal, collapse, and the scandal that might end Melly's career forever. Let's set the stage, because this isn't just another rapper in court headline. This is the kind of scandal that makes you wonder if Netflix already bought the documentary rights. YNW Melly, government named Jamel Demons, yeah, ironic, walks into court already carrying the weight of a double murder charge. But what nobody expected was that the heaviest blow wouldn't come from the prosecutors, or even the forensic evidence stacked against him. No, the knife in the back came from someone sitting just a few feet away. His so-called brother-in-arms, YNW Bortlen. Remember when the YNW crew used to sell us that brotherhood over everything image? Tattoos, music, loyalty slogans plastered all over Instagram. They were hip-hop's version of ride or die. Well, apparently, the ride this video was true, but the die, that got a little too real when Sack Chaser and Juvie ended up dead in the back of a Jeep. Now, prosecutors say it wasn't some tragic street hit. It was an inside job. And who's their star witness? None other than Bortlen, the man who was supposed to be driving the getaway car, now driving Melly's freedom straight into a brick wall. Inside that courtroom, the atmosphere was thick enough to cut with a knife. You've got reporters scribbling like their pens are on fire, jurors trying to keep a straight face, and Melly sitting there, pretending to be calm, but gripping his chair like it was the last thing keeping him on earth. And then it happened. Bortlen opened his mouth and told the court that Melly, yes, that Melly, pulled the trigger. The words dropped heavier than a bass line on a DJ Mustard track, and you could almost hear the collective gasp. Not from the jury, they were trained to poker face it, but from everyone watching this circus unfold. The prosecutors leaned back, smug as if they just landed the knockout punch. The defense scrambled, probably wishing they could mute the entire witness stand. And Melly? Oh, Melly didn't just sit there. He folded. His body literally gave out. Collapsed like a sandcastle hit by a wave of betrayal. 1 second, and he was upright. The next second, the courtroom staff was rushing over, fanning him like he was some fainting celebrity on stage. Now, was it genuine shock? Maybe. Was it guilt leaking out through his pores? Could be. Or maybe, just maybe, it was Melly realizing the streets lied to him. Because loyalty in the rap game is as fragile as a Snapchat story. Here today, gone in 24 hours. And trust me, Bortlen's betrayal wasn't just a moment. It was a message. When it's your life versus mine, brotherhood doesn't mean a damn thing. And that, my friends, is exactly where the scandal gets juicier. Because betrayal in a courtroom doesn't come alone. It comes gift-wrapped with receipts. And prosecutors made sure to pull out every single one like they were running a Black Friday. Clearance sale. Once Bortlen threw Melly under the bus, the state didn't waste a second revving the engine and backing over him with forensic evidence. Cell tower pings, and a stack of anonymous sources that all screamed the same story. This wasn't a random drive-by. This was an inside job. Let's start with the forensics. Because science doesn't care about rap lyrics or street codes. Ballistics experts walked the jury through every bullet hole in that Jeep. And guess what? The angles don't lie. Those shots weren't fired from outside. No, they came from inside the vehicle. Translation? Whoever pulled that trigger was sitting right next to Sack Chaser and Juvie, not lurking in some rival car. Add to that the gunshot residue analysis, and suddenly, the courtroom looked less like a place for justice and more like a crime scene reenactment. But wait, it gets worse. Enter the cell tower records. You know how rappers love flexing on Instagram about beating the system. Well, the system beat back with cold, hard GPS data. Prosecutors pulled up maps showing Melly's phone moving in sync with the victim's right up, until the moment everything went down, and when the so-called drive-by happened. No rival cars on surveillance, no mysterious shooters lurking in the shadows, just Melly, Bortlen, and two dead friends. Then came the text messages, those little digital skeletons hiding in everyone's phones. Prosecutors hinted at arguments over loyalty, money, and jealousy brewing in the crew before the murders. Add a sprinkle of rap beef, a dash of ego, and suddenly, you've got a recipe for disaster baked fresh in Florida. And let's not forget the cherry on top, Melly's own music. Murder on My Mind became the unofficial soundtrack of this trial, with prosecutors waving lyrics around like they were signed confessions. Was it art imitating life or life imitating art? Doesn't matter. The jury was eating it up. And then, of course, the media storm. Oh, the media couldn't resist this one. Headlines blaring, rapper lives his lyrics, the fall of YNW Melly, courtroom betrayal caught on camera. TMZ had their popcorn. Twitter turned into a live watch party. TikTok edits of Melly collapsing in slow motion went viral faster than a Drake diss track. Suddenly, this wasn't just a trial. It was entertainment, a meme factory, a cultural moment. But here's the kicker. While the world was laughing, posting, and speculating, Melly was lying there realizing that his empire of brotherhood and loyalty had crumbled faster than his knees in that courtroom. And the worst, this was only the beginning. Because once the betrayal and evidence starts stacking up, the fallout is inevitable. Because once the receipts are laid out and the betrayal has been televised, there's only one thing left, the fallout. And trust me, this fallout isn't just about Melly's freedom. It's about the entire myth of loyalty in the rap game crumbling in real time. First, let's talk legal consequences. The prosecution is already licking their chops, convinced they've got a slam dunk. With Bortlen's testimony, the ballistics, the GPS data, and the lyrics, they're painting a picture so airtight it could suffocate. They're whispering about life without parole, maybe even the death penalty. And don't think the state of Florida won't push for it. They love making an example out of rappers who think the streets make them untouchable. Meanwhile, Melly's defense is scrambling. Their strategy? Attack Bortlen's credibility, scream reasonable doubt until their throats bleed, and pray at least one juror thinks this is all a government setup. They're hinting that Bortlen cut a deal, that he's lying through his teeth to save his own skin. But let's be real, when your star witness used to ride with you, live with you, and bled with you, the betrayal cuts deeper than any prosecutor's closing argument. Now, here's where things get messy. The streets are divided like never before. Half the fans are screaming, "Free Melly. Bortlen's a snake." The other half are shaking their heads like, "Bro, this is what happens when you play gangster and think life's a mixtape." Social media is a battlefield. Instagram comments filled with rat emojis. Twitter spaces turning into heated debates. And TikTok edits splicing together Melly's lyrics with courtroom footage. Like it's a tragic music video. And the cultural impact? Massive. This trial isn't just about Melly anymore. It's about every rapper who ever bragged about brotherhood and loyalty in their songs. Because when push comes to shove, when the feds wave a plea deal in your face, that loyalty evaporates quicker than a bottle of Henny at an after-party. Bortlen's betrayal is proof that in the rap game, survival always beats solidarity. But let's not forget the human cost. To young men, Sack Chaser and Juvie are gone. Their families sit in that courtroom every day, forced to relive the worst moment of their lives while the world turns their grief into entertainment. For them, this isn't about lyrics, loyalty, or betrayal. It's about justice for their sons and watching the man accused of pulling the trigger collapse. In front of them must have been a twisted kind of vindication. So here we are, Melly on the floor, Bortlen on the stand, prosecutors smelling blood, and the world watching like it's the season finale of a crime drama. The only question left is, will this collapse be remembered as the moment Melly's mask slipped, or the moment the system finally crushed him? So now the million-dollar question, was YNW Melly's courtroom collapse a guilty conscience finally breaking under pressure, or just the ultimate performance from a rapper who knows the cameras are always rolling? Did Bortlen betray a brother to save himself, or did he finally speak the truth that everyone else was too scared to admit? I want to hear your verdict. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this trial is bigger than Melly. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and survival. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter is only getting messier.